welcome back. I just made a beautiful iced coffee protein smoothie with chai this time. I'm currently in the middle of making another YouTube video, 5 plant-based breakfasts for fat loss and building muscle. So I'm just thinking of all these unique ideas, and I just made the most delicious mango smoothie yesterday with the chai powder. So today I put it in one of my go-to coffee smoothies, which is delicious. Today I wanted to have a little chat about how to tune in with your body, because a lot of people don't really know how to do that, and so many people feel guilty for craving certain foods or eating certain foods or not wanting to exercise, and they force themselves to go anyway. There's lots of different avenues that we can cover. So I was just driving home from work in the sun, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make an iced coffee protein smoothie and just have a chat about this, because I've also heard in a few podcasts how people are thinking about going plant-based, but they're like, oh, I don't know what to do when my family have this cultural dinner once or twice a month, then I won't be able to join in. So instead of actually trying and just saving that for a treat or just seeing how it goes, they just don't try at all. And I think that there's a lot better ways to go about things. I have recently done a video and a podcast on my 90% plant-based diet approach. Go check that out if you haven't already. And I'll link if you're watching the video, I'll link my podcast in the description. Otherwise, if you listen to the podcast, you can head to my YouTube to see my other videos as well. So it started off on Monday. I decided to climb a mountain. I tried this mountain when I first moved here, and it's in Rockhampton, and actually failed. Well, I tried and I didn't get to the top, and it took me over a year until I finally tried again. I think I didn't get to the top because it was summer when I moved here and you just can't exercise in that heat. But I finally made it to the top. It was the most beautiful view, and they had this beautiful tree walk. It was just absolutely stunning. And I met this guy. He was this traveler, and we had a good 30 or 40 minute talk about plant-based diet, because I asked if he could take a photo of me at the top because I was by myself, and I'm like, yes, Cassie, you're stepping out of your comfort zone and talking to someone you don't know, which is a positive thing for me. And then he asked what I did, and I said, yeah, I'm a nutritionist, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, okay, so what kind of diet do you do? And I told him plant-based, and then I just told him my whole approach and my whole thought pattern towards it, and he was like, oh, you're one of the most open-minded people I've ever met. And sometimes I feel really bogged down when I'm trying to make my business work and trying to get my message across, and people just don't want to know about it, or people just, it really gets hard sometimes. And then just hearing him feel really open to it, he was like, oh, well, I don't know what to do, like I don't know what I would do without a cheese sauce. And I was like, oh, well, when I make macaroni cheese, I just buy this pre-made pack. It's just made from tapioca starch, nutritional yeast, onion powder, and salt. So you just add plant-based milk and you've got a cheese sauce in seconds, basically. And he was like, oh, wow. So it really is just about learning those different alternative swaps and learning what works for you and taking things at your own pace. I also mentioned to him, I've got quite a few friends who eat vegan or plant-based during the week, but just eat what they want when they dine out, or eat what they want in the weekends, as long as that's not a binge, because that would become another disorder. But if they're just dining out at a restaurant and they're like, actually, I feel like this is a treat, then that is so much better than not doing anything at all. So I'm all for that and making it work for each other as an individual. There's been a few funny posts I have seen lately. There's this beautiful takeaway restaurant called Burger Urge in Australia, and I had a bit of a sore tummy the other day. I'm very sensitive to oils, and I ate some veggie chips, and then even that set me off, and I was just so exhausted that day. And I was like, do I just go all out and order a burger for dinner as well, or should I just go back home and cook myself some veggies? But I'd been eating really healthy for the whole week and eating so much veggies, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to treat myself and get the burger, because it's probably been 6 months since I've eaten at this place. And I bought this cheeseburger, and it was the most, like, it actually fixed my stomach. My bloating went down, even though it was processed in takeaways. It must have been just high quality and just tasted so good. So I'm a huge fan of that. And I also had an Oreo shake made from soy, ice cream, and almond milk. It was absolutely delicious, not overpoweringly sweet, just hit the spot. And that burger joint shared on Facebook, they're like, hey, blah, 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 we've introduced carbon neutral beef. And there's lots of arguments about whether that's even a thing or not. But all of these vegans were commenting on it like, yeah, but an animal still has to die. And yeah, but that's still not vegan, blah, blah, blah. And in my opinion, I was like, they are one of the only places who have several amazing vegan options, and they're catering to both parties, and at least they're trying, and I get really good customer service there every time. The food's always delicious, and the fact that they've actually got like 5 options that are all amazing, all catered towards vegans, that's more than you get in a lot of places. So I just love their brand already, but all the vegans were ripping into them, and it's like they're not a vegan joint, and they're trying, they've just got to cater towards what people want, and they're trying to make a change. So I try to view things as like a positive thing and think about the good things, and it's hard when they get all these vegans ripping into them, and then it obviously turns them off this way of life, I guess you could say, because yeah, they just get attacked, which no one ends up happy in the end of that. So I have really had a good conversation with this guy, and I think it's a really important message to get across. And a few of the podcasts I've been listening to lately as well, people have mentioned different things. This one lady, she said she's started eating plant-based, she feels amazing, she's like absolutely in love with this new diet, or lifestyle as you should call it. And she said she's just decided not to put a label on it and not to put herself into a pigeon box. She just eats plant-based, and she finds that a lot better for her mental health. And for her and people like me, I don't do well with rules around food. The way I see it is I can eat anything I want, but say if there was a pork chop presented to me, I just actually don't want that. I would rather have the plant-based one. Or if there was something else presented to me, I actually just don't want it, and I'd rather choose another option instead of saying, no, I could never have that ever again. The way my brain works, I just don't work with that. So it's more coming from a personal choice, and there's different things that we have to consider as individual humans, different genetic makeups, different environments, different lifestyles as well, different cultures, and we all do have different brains around all this kind of thing. I follow a 90 to 95% plant-based diet, so I still eat salmon a few times a month because that is my absolute favorite food, and I still eat eggs from my own chickens. And I have really noticed, especially this year, or I probably noticed it last year once I finally slowed down and really became in tune with myself. It always happens around certain times of the month. So a week ago, I got my time of month and I scoffed my face with it. Like, I bought those canned salmon, and I used to just sometimes buy tomato and onion one and mix it with some microwave rice. If I was at work and didn't bring my lunch kind of thing, I'll just stir that together and have it. Then I bought the salmon that has the bones in it, which is actually a really good source of calcium. So if you're vegan, obviously you wouldn't be eating this, but I crave that stuff sometimes. So I was eating those. One of the days I even ate 2 of the cans in one snack, all on crackers, and I just couldn't stop scoffing my face with the salmon. And then I actually took it to work. The acupuncturist was at the back, and I had to eat it like in the store behind the shelf, and like I wafted out the whole store with like the smell of fish. And then now I do not feel like salmon at all. Like, I just don't want it for like another 2 to 3 weeks kind of thing. And it's just so funny. I go through certain phases where I'm like, oh my god, I need this now, and I just have to fuel my body, and then once I satisfy the craving, it's gone, and I do not feel like that at all. But imagine if I just ignored it and was like, no, I'm not allowed to eat that. I've been told there's other things you can do to kind of fuel, like satisfy the craving, but someone has also said that salmon is kind of the only meat that hasn't really been replicated yet. You can make like carrot smoked salmon, but nothing that really fills the same spot with the fattiness of it. So I'm tuned enough to know when I need something, and the rest of the time I eat plant-based, and that still makes such a huge difference overall. I'm here teaching other people how to make that change in their own lives. So I just wanted to share that story with the salmon, because I talk to a lot of women as well, and they say, yeah, it's just around my time of month. They might crave red meat or something, or they might just have a little thing that they'd never usually have, and then they just eat it, the craving goes away, and they can go back to eating vegetarian or eating vegan for the rest of the month. So that's a really important point to consider. I think taking away the rules around it can be beneficial for certain people who may not want to go 100%. For the other half, they may think that if they allow themselves freedom, they won't stick to it. So a lot of people do prefer to go 100%, and I'm all for supporting those people as well. So yeah, I just want to show that everyone is an individual, and any progress or any effort is better than nothing. Other things that I do to tune in with my body is, number one, not being so busy, because I feel like that's when you're so bogged down with day-to-day tasks. I know for people it can be very hard, especially people raising families, especially single moms as well, and people who may have 2 jobs or who are just working full-time and trying to juggle all the different things in their life. But definitely just taking a step back to think about how you really feel and what you really want to do, and how you want to take care of yourself, how you want to spend your days. I haven't actually done weights or been to the gym for over a week, and I obviously get really bad aching in my bones and in my hips and in my shins and stuff. So I had a bit of a break from the gym. I went to a yoga class on Saturday. I took my dog walking through this beautiful nature bush and got some sunlight on my skin and was surrounding myself in the trees. And then on Monday I climbed the mountain, which is still hard, but it's just a different type of exercise. And now I feel like I'm ready to get back into the gym, maybe do an arm session instead of legs, so it's a little bit easier before going straight back into the hardest thing, if that makes sense. So I always just ask myself how I feel. What do I feel like doing today? And it's not always doing a tough workout. I always try not to feel guilty and just allow myself to be, whether I want to have an early night, whether I want to get up early and have a super productive day. It can all depend on different lifestyle factors, different things happening at the time, our hormones, our mental health. There's so much that goes into it. At the time of filming this, I'm currently in my second to last week of my Sculpt Nourish Glow 8-week group program. So I partner with my business partner Rochelle in New Zealand. She's a personal trainer, IFBB competitor, and I am a holistic nutritionist and WBFF competitor. So we have formed this awesome 8-week program, and we coach the girls through covering all things fitness, nutrition, mindset. And I was doing a video about cravings, and the easiest way I say for people to deal with their cravings, instead of the typical way like, no, you can't have that thing, that's bad, or that's not a healthy food, I always ask myself, why? Why am I wanting this chocolate? On the day that I got my period, I actually ate a couple of pieces of chocolate with my morning coffee. And I was just looked over at it and I'm like, oh, I really feel like that right now. And then just ate it, and then I felt satisfied. Then I could just get on with my day. So I think that's a very different approach. Instead of just restricting this whole time and then having a binge, I just ask why. Is it my hormones and my time of month? Or am I feeling extra stress? For some people, it might be emotional eating. For some people, they might be really struggling with sleep at the moment. For some people, they might just not be being prepared. So I think that also comes into play as well. Are you not going to the gym because your body needs something different and you should take a different approach to exercise? Or are you not going to the gym just because you're being lazy and making up excuses? You need to find that line so that you know when to rein it in and when to be stricter on yourself, or when to let yourself create a new path, if that makes sense. And when it comes to nutrition, instead of just saying, no, why am I craving this bad thing? I will just ask why. And then number one, usually I make a healthier alternative. So for dessert at the moment, I'm just having these yogurt bowls with banana, and I do put chocolate drops in it, sometimes mango in it, caramelized buckwheat, and the yogurt I use is Activia banana oat yogurt. It's the best thing I've ever tasted. So I just make this big nourishing thing that satisfies my sweet craving. It actually provides my body with nutrients with the fruit, and the yogurt's got probiotics in it. And then I don't really crave unhealthy sweet things, but then when I do, I just sit down, I enjoy every mouthful, I take it all in, enjoy the moment, and then just carry on with my day. And then once you let yourself do that, if you're already in a healthy routine, you should just get back into it, make a beautiful salad or stir fry for your next meal, or a nice nourishing dish. So I think that's all I have for today. I just really want to break down that stigma that when you go on a diet it's got to be 100% or nothing. For me, it really is a lifestyle and customized to my wants and my needs and my preferences. Things can even change over time as you get older, go through different life stages, everything like that. So I'm all about just making it work for me instead of putting all these rules around it. It's what I want to eat at the time, what's going to nourish me, what's going to make me feel amazing. If you want some healthy eating ideas, I'm sure that you'll love my Eat from the Earth meal guide. So that's got over 140 whole foods and plant focused recipes. So it's not just vegan, it caters to a bit of everything. Just because not all my clients are vegan, they might be wanting to make the change, but they might not be wanting to do it straight away. So I've tried to cater towards it in that sense. And if you want something even more basic, for someone who's not so confident in the kitchen or busy people who just don't even want to think about what to cook, then my ebook Cassie's Kitchen Combos, that will be a lifesaver in your kitchen. It's just combinations of food, no recipes required. So head to the description and I'll link all of those there. Otherwise, thank you for listening. Hit like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time.